So calculating loans, that's what we'll be using to look at different portions today. Tomorrow in class, you'll have an assignment in Classroom. It's a Google form. What we're going to do is we're going to calculate the interest per payment. So we're going to do two different ones. What does APR stand for?
Amount percentage.
Not amount percentage, but
Annual percentage rate.
and an annual percentage rate. So what our percent is for the entire year. So if I know I'm making payments quarterly, what do you think I'll do that with that annual percentage rate to find out what my payments percentage per quarter is? You take your APR and divide by number of times. So here we have 6% divided by how many times would you make payments if you're doing it every quarter?
4 times.
So if you're doing it monthly, go ahead and calculate what percent is that whenever we divide those? 6 divided by 4 is 1.5%.
You don't have to change percent into a decimal.
No, we're keeping it in percent form.
Okay.
Just leave it in percent form on this one. We'll talk about when it does change to decimal, and that's when we're actually going to do some calculations. Okay? So let's look at this next one. And so, if our APR is 6% and we're doing it every month, we're going to take that 6% and divide it by what?
12. 2.
And that gives you not 2,
2.5.
gives you a half.
Oh.
Or 0.5%. You could have written it as a half of a percent or 0.5%.
You can write it both ways.
Either way is okay. Okay. The next set of questions I want to give you on the assignment is going to be where you have to use a chart to help calculate certain pieces. So using this chart, we're going to find the total loan cost for each of these pieces. And we're talking about what the difference between these questions are. So our loan amount is $7,000. Our loan term is 24 months. What does that mean?
You have 24 months to pay back the loan.
24 months to pay back the loan. We're going to make monthly payments. I forgot to write that up here. Our interest rate is 4.5%. We have $125 in upfront fees. So this is like in your game, if you chose a credit union, you had like a $25 membership fee. That would be an upfront fee. It's paid extra on top of your monthly payment for your first month. Or it may be where you pay it before you leave the dealership or the place that you buy the item. So that's an extra above and beyond everything else that you're making payments of. And so we're going to be looking at having a payment of $305.53. So what is the total amount of the payments? Okay. This question and question 2 are actually asking two different questions. What is the total cost of the loan? And what is the total amount of the payments? What do you think is the difference between those two questions? They're both going to be in dollars. The results are in dollars.
Like counting with the interest rate and one's not?
Both of them are counting with the interest rate, but one's including something else extra.
The fees?
That front fees. So number 2 is including these fees in it. So the fees are included here. And so, how do you think we'll calculate how much the total amount of payments that we're making? So we're making $305.53 each month. We're doing this for 24 months. What do you think you might do with those things? Kinda. When you're doing repeated addition, what would it be called? Multiply. So we're going to multiply the payment times how many months we're making the payment. So if our payment is $305.53, we're going to multiply that times 24. That's how many payments we're making. That gives us a total amount due that we're going to pay of how much? Is that going to be more or less than the $7,000? More, because it's including what? Interest.
7,332.72.
And 72?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to take that information, we're going to include that for this next one. So we're going to take that total amount repaid plus we're going to add into that $125 fee. And so that means that really what we're actually going to end up paying for this loan is how much?
7,457. With 72.
Oh, that color didn't show up. Let me change that color, sorry. $7,000.
457 with 72.
Oh, was that 72? Not, yeah, it was.
Yes, ma'am.
That's supposed to be a 2. Okay, so when we took this loan out, how much is it really costing us extra? What does it cost for us doing a loan versus paying cash?
457. 72.
$400.57, or $457.72. So that's how much that loan really cost us. That's what we had to pay extra above the value of the product we had. When you're getting a loan, it's important to figure out how much it's going to cost you extra to see if it's really worth it. Also, you want to make sure that your term, your amount of time that you're taking to pay this item off, is in consideration of how long this product is going to last. So let's say you take a car. Most people will take and wear down their cars within 5 to 10 years. You don't want to take a loan out for longer than how long you're going to wear your car down. So they really recommend not taking out 5-6 year loans because your car is not going to be of the value that your loan is. You're going to be upside down in your loan. You couldn't sell it and make back at any given point in that what your loan value is. And we'll talk about that more as we go throughout this next little unit about being upside down and what it means and how to avoid that. So now let's look at it from a different perspective. we're going to look at calculating the first and second month's portions. We're going to take and calculate how much of that payment goes to interest. Oops. And principal. There's going to be a portion of that payment that's going to each one. What is principal's purpose? What is the principal when you have a loan?
How much or how often you're paying it?
It's not how often, but it is how much the loan is. So as we're making payments, this loan amount is going to decrease. Because each month you're paying off a portion of that loan. So we have a $150,000 loan for 4.5% for 25 years, and we have $833.75 for a monthly payment. So let's break that piece down, and we're going to look at it for each month. So if I have a $150,000 loan, what type of loan is typically in that dollar range? House. So we're looking at a mortgage right here. Is 25 years for a mortgage loan reasonable?
Sounds about right.
Mortgage loans typically are between 15 and 30 years. The shorter you have to pay it off, the less you pay in interest. And we are going to be using technology to help us see that relationship as we go throughout this week. On Wednesday, we'll be using some spreadsheets to help us look at what happens to your interest as we go through. Okay, so we are going to have several steps to do this. So for month one, the first step we need to do is we need to calculate what our rate per period is. So kind of like what we did on that step one, or problem one. So we have 4.5% divided by how many payments per year? Making monthly payments.
12.
So 12. And so that comes up with .375%. Or 375 thousandths of a percent. Step 2, we are going to take that number and we're going to use it to help us calculate what our interest is in this month. So we're going to take the loan times our rate as a decimal.
Multiply that or what?
And we're going to multiply them. And so I need to move my decimal place back 2 times to get it as a decimal. And so we're going to take the 150,000 times 0.00375, and that gives us what as our interest?
562 and 50 cents.
So that's our interest. Each month, our payment is made up of interest. In this case, this month it's $562.50, and principal, which we don't know. How can we calculate what that principal is? What do you think you might do? The only 2 things are in a monthly payment is interest and principal. Not divide. We will not multiply. Well, your interest plus your principal is going to equal $833. So if I know what my total is and I know what one piece is, subtract them. So we're going to subtract these 2 numbers. And that's going to give you your principal.
271.25 cents.
Let me erase that so it can see through it. And 25, 25.
25.
That's how much went to our principal. Your principal's purpose is to lower your loan amount. So when we go into month 2, our loan is no longer $150,000. It's been reduced by $272.26 or 25. Was it 25?
25.
No, 271.25. Sorry. And so that gives us how much is our principal to start this problem off with. And we reduce it by what we paid last month. Use your calculator.
149,728.75.
Go 75. So that's no longer the amount we owe. Or how much we owe has reduced. By every payment we make, our goal is to reduce our principal that we owe on our loan. And so we're going to go through the same steps we just did on month 1, but now using the principal that we just calculated. So our interest rate's not going to change. So let's do step 1. Our step 1 has already been done. Step 2, we're going to calculate how much interest. And so we're going to take that $149,728.75, and we're going to multiply it by that 0.00375. And how much in interest this time? Do you think it's going to be more or less than last time?
More.
We owe less. Is the interest amount going to be more or less?
Was it the same? What was the interest rate for the last one?
The interest rate is the same, just how much we owe is less. So our how much we pay in interest is going to go down.
561.48.
How much interest you?
That's how much interest we have to pay. This that is going towards it. That's how much of our payment is going towards interest. So just like last time, our payment split between interest and principal. How much is going towards principal?
$272.27.
Okay. So going into month 3, we're going to take that $149,728.75, and we're going to reduce it by our interest, which was, or how much our principal was, excuse me, which was $272.26. And it leaves us how much owing?
$149,456.48.
So that would be payment month 3 would use that amount to get us going.